Right now, somewhere on your body, there are tiny muscles you have never consciously controlled, never deliberately activated, and almost certainly never thought about. They are called erector pili muscles, one attached to the base of every single hair follicle on your body. And several times a day, without your permission, without any conscious decision on your part, they contract. Your hairs stand up, your skin dimples, you get goosebumps. And the reason this keeps happening to you in the 21st century has almost nothing to do with temperature and everything to do with a threat your body is still preparing for that has not existed for a very long time. To understand what goosebumps actually are, you need to go back about 200 million years to the common ancestor of all modern mammals. That ancestor was small, likely nocturnal, and covered in fur. When it encountered a predator, its body did something that would become one of the most conserved stress responses in mammalian evolution. Its sympathetic nervous system, the fight-or-flight system, fired. Adrenaline flooded its bloodstream, its heart rate spiked, its muscles tensed, and the erector pili muscles attached to every hair follicle contracted simultaneously, causing the fur to stand on end. This response, called piloerection, did two things that genuinely mattered for survival. First, it made the animal look bigger. A cat facing a threat fluffs its fur to appear larger than it is. A threatened porcupine raises its quills. A cornered dog's hackles rise along its spine. In each case, the piloerection is performing the same function, inflating the animal's apparent size to make a predator reconsider whether the attack is worth it. Second, in cold weather, raised fur traps air between the hairs, creating an insulating layer that retains body heat. The mechanism served double duty, a threat display and a thermal regulation system, both activated by the same sympathetic nervous system response. Then, humans lost most of their body hair, and the erector pili muscles, stripped of any functional fur to raise, became vestigial. But the nervous system wiring that activates them did not disappear. The sympathetic nervous system still fires, the adrenaline still floods, the muscles still contract, and tiny, useless bumps appear on skin that no longer has meaningful fur to raise. A relic response performing a relic function in a body that has evolved past the need for it. The physiologist Arne Mackelbost and colleagues have documented this pattern across dozens of mammalian species, consistently finding that piloerection is a sympathetic nervous system response, not a skin response. The skin is the output, the nervous system is the driver, and the trigger for that nervous system response is arousal, any form of heightened arousal, threat, cold, emotion, awe, the sudden recognition of something meaningful. This is why goosebumps do not only appear when you are cold, they appear when you hear a piece of music that moves you, when a scene in a film suddenly overwhelms you, when someone says something that strikes you as deeply true, when you watch a great athlete do something impossible, when pride floods through you unexpectedly. All of these experiences share a common feature. They trigger a spike in physiological arousal, and the sympathetic nervous system, still running the same ancient software it has been running for 200 million years, responds the way it always has. It fires the erector pili muscles. The psychologist Jonathan Haidt at New York University has studied the specific emotional experience that most reliably produces goosebumps in humans. He calls it elevation, the feeling produced by witnessing exceptional human virtue, moral beauty, or transcendent skill. When you watch someone perform an act of extraordinary courage or generosity, when you hear a speech that articulates something you have deeply felt but never been able to say, when you encounter beauty so overwhelming it seems to demand a response from your body, you are experiencing elevation. And the body's response to elevation, Haidt found, is frequently physical. Your chest opens, your eyes fill, and across the surface of your skin, the same sympathetic nervous system response that once prepared a small furry to face a predator fires one more time. There is a name in the research literature for goosebumps specifically produced by music or emotional experience. The word is frisson, a French word meaning shiver or thrill. The music psychologist David Huron at Ohio State University has spent years studying the conditions under which frisson occurs. His research found that frisson is most reliably triggered by musical moments that violate expectation in a pleasing way. A chord that resolves more beautifully than you anticipated. A melody that takes an unexpected turn and then arrives somewhere more perfect than the expected destination would have been. A voice that suddenly soars beyond where you thought it could go. The violation of expectation followed by the resolution of that violation into something more beautiful than expected produces a measurable emotional arousal response. And that arousal response fires the sympathetic nervous system. And the sympathetic nervous system fires the erector pili muscles, and the hairs on your arm stand up.
You are, in those moments, experiencing something your ancient nervous system was never designed to process. It was designed for threats, for cold, for survival emergencies requiring immediate physical response. It was not designed for Mozart or Mahler or the moment a film score swells at exactly the right second. And yet, the system responds anyway, because the arousal is real, because something in the experience has spiked your physiological state beyond its baseline, and the ancient hardware interprets that spike the only way it knows how. This is one of the stranger things about being human. The same nervous system machinery that once prepared your ancestors to survive an attack by a predator is now firing in response to a violin. The same biological response that made a small furry mammal look bigger in the face of danger is now producing a physical sensation that people actively seek out, that they chase through music and cinema and art, because it feels like contact with something larger than themselves.
The neuroscientist Jaak Panksepp at Washington State University, who pioneered the study of emotional systems in the mammalian brain, called the goosebump response one of the clearest signs that music is genuinely accessing ancient emotional circuitry. Not the higher cognitive systems, not the language centers or the prefrontal cortex where you consciously appreciate and analyze music. The ancient systems, the systems shared with creatures that had no music, no art, no concept of beauty. The systems that were there before any of that, running the same survival logic they have always run, and being hijacked involuntarily, beautifully, by an experience their original designers never anticipated. So the next time the hairs on your arms stand up at a piece of music, or a moment of unexpected beauty, or a sudden overwhelming recognition of something true, notice what is actually happening. You are not having an aesthetic response. You are having a survival response that has been redirected. Your body is doing exactly what it was built to do. It has simply found something worth responding to that its original blueprint never imagined. Right now, somewhere on your body, there are tiny muscles you have never consciously controlled, and the next time they fire, it will not be because you are cold. It will be because something real just happened. Something your nervous system, in the only language it has ever known, is calling a threat worth preparing for. And something about that, if you sit with it long enough, will probably give you goosebumps.